All right, so we're gonna go over our 3 Kings moves. This is gonna be the first of them. So I call it 3 Kings because it comes from a super classic closed guard position. They're all very high percentage. 2 submissions, 1 sweep from here. The Kimura, the guillotine, and the bump sweep. Like I said, they're all coming from closed guard position. So I believe that from the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu sense, if you're just learning it, it'll make sense that it's an actual Jiu-Jitsu position. You've just learned about closed guard and the concepts of guard, shrimping, things like that. Easy to understand and super effective. So the first one is going to be the Kimura from closed guard. So let's turn this way a little bit. Let's actually turn like that, square like this on here. Okay, so I'm in closed guard, right? We should have just reviewed this recently. My legs are closed above Daniel's hips on his waist. I'm going to be speaking to the camera some, so my position might not be perfect, but you know, I'm engaged here. I'm pretty tight. I'm in a classic closed guard position. Daniel is in a classic closed guard defensive position with his hands on me with good posture. So initially, to break down his posture and to get a handle on the mat, what we're gonna do is we're gonna bring our legs up, just like we're doing like a lower ab exercise. So actually, I'm gonna turn real quick. So I'm not pulling him in like this. I'm gonna lift him like that. And that's gonna bring him off his base. That means it's gonna bring his butt off his feet a little bit. Let's go back here again. And when I do that, I'm gonna swim his hands out. So from right here, hands in, legs come in, hands swim out. So they swim out from the outside in. This will generally make the person put their hand on the mat for a moment. When that happens, I'm gonna take a C grip like this, thumb up, grab onto Daniel's wrist. From right here, I'm gonna open my guard, which means my legs are gonna open right here. And from here, we're gonna do one of our warm-up drills, right? We're just gonna get on our side. We're gonna shrimp our butt back a little bit. When we shrimp our butt back, we're gonna come up onto our elbow. So we're here, hands back, ab lift, hand swim, C grip, open our guard, shrimp and come up to our elbow. Once we're here, this opposite hand is gonna come through with a C grip, and it's gonna grab my own wrist. So some people also call this a double wrist lock, because I have one wrist locked on his wrist, or one hand locked on his wrist, and one hand behind his arm, locked on my own wrist. It becomes a figure 4 lock. Sort of looks like a 4 if you hold it at the right angle right here, but basically what's happening is I'm grabbing his wrist and I'm buttressing the grip with my own hand behind his arm. So as you guys can see right here, I got his elbow bent at this angle right here. When I grab onto it, grab, C grip, behind his arm, C grip. So I've shrimped down into my right hip. At this point, I'm going to sort of reverse shrimp back flat onto my back. So from here, I'm gonna bring myself back here. This arm stays tight on top of his arm to keep it against my body, and this hand keeps his hand away from his body. As I come down here, I'm going to throw this leg over his back. So now I'm in a position where I have his top arm dominated right here, which locks his shoulder, and then I have his hand dominated down here, where I'm not up on his hand, where I'm bending his hand, but I'm above his wrist or on his wrist. So the only joint that I'm really attacking here is his elbow, right? His shoulder will move a little bit, so there's no way to get it tight enough where it's not gonna rotate. It's a ball and socket joint. And his hand might move a little bit if you're too low here, but ideally, you have the shoulder joint locked here, you're above the wrist joint here, so most of the action is on the elbow. The issue is that the elbow goes in and out like this, and we are turning it like this, right? So as we isolate the joints, we're basically attacking the elbow right here. So this hand is almost in a bench pressing grip here. This hand is just buttressing it. This leg comes over the back. This is just good form because if the person front rolls, they can relieve the pressure. So if you front roll, go, boom, the lock's not really there. So come back into it, go back over here. If my leg's over Dan's back and he tries to front roll, I at least have a minute here where my hamstring should be strong enough to stop him. But from right here, the elbow is really isolated. I'm basically just gonna grip with this arm right here really tight. I'm gonna start pressing this one up. And eventually I'm gonna get to the point. There's some people with super tight shoulders who when you start going here, they're already tapping, boom. And then you have people, Dan's a little bit flexible right here. He's gonna start tapping. Every once in a while you have someone whose hand, you know, comes way up here and starts tapping. When you throw your Kimuras, especially when you're drilling them, especially for the first time with a partner, just go slow. Dan has a real normal range of motion right here, a little bit stretchy, but some guys, you'll be here and they'll just be tacking like crazy. So go slow when you're drilling it. Super effective break. Isolated elbow, bam. But let's go back again. Here we are. we're in our classic closed guard. My legs are closed. He's got good posture here. Bring my legs in like a lower ab lift. So in the hands, C grip on the arm, feet open. Come up to my elbow as I shrink my butt back. This hand comes around, buttresses my arm, the second C grip, one wrist lock, two wrist locks, shrink myself back flat, take an angle, throw my leg over his back. From here, I have his shoulder locked, or at least more or less locked, the ball and socket joint, like I said. With this arm, this hand is slightly above his wrist, so we're really just turning at the elbow, hands together, leg tight, bench it, boom. Very, very strong submission right